Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Bodega Cat. This is an oatmeal stout by Kings County Brewers Collective, and it comes in at 5.9% ABV. Check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich, and welcome to End of the Day Beer Review, and I am looking at an oatmeal stout today. I am very happy that it's getting colder, not because I like the cold really, but because it is stout weather and more stouts are becoming available. So what I have today is Bodega Cat. This is an oatmeal stout by Kings County Brewers Collective, which is a brewery I only discovered, or a collective I only discovered this summer, and I've done a couple of their reviews. They've put out some really interesting double IPAs. They've put out a really interesting fruit sour, and boom, while I was in, of all places, Wegmans in New Jersey, I found one of their stouts. So I picked it up right away, and that is what we are trying out today. Now, let's see. It says that this is an oatmeal stout with Magnum and Willamette hops, barley and oats, and it was canned on 9/13/23, so it's really fresh. Today it is sometime early November. I want to say it's like the 4th or the 5th. So, you know, this was canned less than 2 months ago. And, you know, I have to say, normally can art, you know, does sort of suck me in. But here, this can art, I think, is awesome. You see the Bodega Cat. You see all of the sort of accoutrements of a bodega. It also says, just to make sure that, you know, I give all the credit that's due, brewed in collaboration with Interborough Spirits and Ales. Now, I don't know that group at all, so, you know, I'm sort of interested to see what KCBC did in collaboration. Let's crack it open. All right, with the initial opening of the can, I'm not getting any sort of aroma that's sort of filling the bar, so let's do the all-important pour. And this is actually pouring sort of a lighter brown than I expected. It's definitely not the jet black of some of the other stouts that I've seen, or the oatmeal stouts I've seen. A nice khaki colored head on this. You know, a decent amount of carbonation. I may have over poured that a little bit as far as like how aggressive I was with it. So a good head on that, a nice dark beer, not the jet black that I normally associate with stouts and oatmeal stouts, but definitely a dark brown, sort of like a brown ale color to it. Now, KCBC is out of Brooklyn, New York, and it's brewed and packaged by Kings County Collective Brewers, Troutman Street, Brooklyn, New York, and they have a website, kcbcbeer.com. I recommend you check it out because so far, and I'm not speaking for this beer yet, everything I've tried from them has been at least interesting, if not just out and out good. So I'm sort of excited to see where they go with the stout because I've never tried one of their stouts. Let's check the nose, and I know the head's a little bit much, but sorry, my fault. I'm getting a lot of roast right off the top. Yeah, sort of a nice sort of roasty aroma to it that I normally chalk up to sort of like the generic aroma of a stout, almost like you know, like a roasted coffee, if you will, maybe sort of like a roasted type of like an almond or a pecan or something. There's something there that, you know, is giving it sort of that roasty aroma. Again, the head has hung out. The carbonation doesn't look super aggressive. Yeah, again, it's sort of that generic roastiness that I normally get with a, you know, with a basic type of stout. It's definitely more pronounced than, let's say, you know, some of the more basic stouts like a Guinness. But it's you know, it is that base roastiness, almost like that coffee smell to it. So let's see what it tastes like. That's smooth. So again, what I always associate with that sort of coffee, roasty bitterness that goes with a base stout is here. There's a very, very nice roast flavor to it. Almost a hint of like a dark chocolate, and that just might be me, but that's sort of what I'm getting right on the back end. Much more of the roast of the actual beer itself, much more of that sort of like coffee flavor. It's not coffee flavor. It's very similar to the aroma you get if you open a bag of roasted coffee beans. You're getting sort of that smell of the roastiness, and I'm assuming that's coming from when they were roasting the grains to get it ready to actually make the beer, and that's sort of the flavor that I'm getting. There's also a really nice sort of bitterness on the back of the tongue, because this is, I never use this phrase with a stout, but this is absolutely crushable. Like, you could easily drink this very quickly. In fact, I had to sort of stop myself. Yeah, that's very nice. It's very nice. It's very much that base stout flavor of the roast, of the sort of coffee, and just a hint of chocolate in the back end. At 5.9% ABV, it's not a, I mean, for what we normally talk about on this channel, this is pretty low in the ABV, but for an average beer, this is, moving slightly higher than, let's say, an average beer. What's nice about it is there's actually a crispness to it as you drink it. Like, I've had stouts that are very syrupy, I've had stouts that are very thick, and I like that a lot. This is surprisingly light, surprisingly easy to drink. As you swallow it, there's just enough carbonation to sort of bring out that really enjoyable bitterness that comes with like a good roasted grain. This is a nice beer. Is it going to change the world as far as oatmeal stouts go? No, it's probably not. But what it is a very solid, very consumable, very enjoyable beer that I would pick up anytime I saw it in the future. It's also something that I wouldn't mind giving to somebody who is like, oh no, I don't like stouts. Stouts are too much. Because this is a really approachable stout. This is sort of like, I don't want to say a beginner stout. I feel like a beginner stout is always going to be like a Guinness. But this is one that you could give to somebody to allow them to see what a good stout should taste like. Sort of that again, I'm repeating myself, that roasty flavor with a little bit of that hint of coffee, a little bit of that hint of chocolate. And, you could really explain to them, what a good, strong stout is. It's also really easy to drink. And at 5.9%, I guess you could have more than one of these at a meal and not be totally incapacitated. Like, I wouldn't drive after drinking more than one of these, but it's still, a very, very approachable, very drinkable beer where it's not going to be the only beer you have to have that night. So I have to say, again, I'm not a big numerical guy when it comes to beers because everybody's tastes are so different. But what I always think of is, would I buy this again? Yes, absolutely. If I saw this again in a Wegmans, or if I saw this again in a Stu Leonard's or something like that, because I've seen KCBC and Stu Leonard's in New York, I would definitely pick it up again. Would I hunt it up? Yeah. If I was looking for an accessible stout to bring to somebody's house that I could share with other people, I would definitely pick this one up as one of those stouts to try. So I'll say it again, KCBC, the Kings County Brewers Collective, has done a really good job on making a beer that is easy to drink, very enjoyable, very approachable, even if you're not a stout person. Like, I could see somebody who's into sort of that heavy bitterness of, at least the heavy bitterness I perceive as an IPA, sitting there going, you know what, this is really good. This could be sort of like a gateway stout, if you will, to get you sort of going down the stout path. But yeah, this is, and it's nice. The alcohol content is sufficient, but it's not overwhelming. You definitely don't taste the alcohol. Even now, after drinking a couple sips of this, there's no sort of like heat to it or warmth in my stomach. This is a very, very good beer. And the other thing that's nice is this is not a commitment. I can have this and still have something different if I want to try a different beer that night. I'm not locked into this. So I'll say it again, you know, Kings County Brewers Collective, so far everything I've hit, that I've tried from them has either been objectively just excellent or at least very interesting. It's so interesting that I want to buy it and share it with people. So I think this is a really good example of one of their really good, solidly built beers, and it is just excellent. So if you get a chance and you see it, not to mention the can art in it is freaking awesome. I would check out Bodega Cat, again, an oatmeal stout by Kings County Brewers Collective. Again, I'm not sponsored by them, but they are around in New York, and if you get a chance, I would definitely pick up. Basically anything that I've tried from them has been approachable and drinkable and good, at least interesting, but more often than not, it's just been very good. Little carbonation there. I would pick it up and I would try it. Anyway, folks, I'm going to sit back and enjoy this one. And being that it's only 5.9, I might actually enjoy a second one later on. But, you know, we have to see how the evening goes. And I will see you next time. If you enjoyed the review, please hit that like button, subscribe, throw a comment down in there. If there's any other oatmeal stouts that you think I should try, you know, throw the name in there. And I will see you next time on End of the Day Beer Review. Cheers.